Hello, everybody. I am Sun Psychic Jean, and please welcome my very special co host for today, Val from Dragonfly Crystals. Hi, Val.
I don't see it live yet.
Okay, it takes
Okay,
a
it just
minute.
wait a minute. Oh, it just says scheduled on it. Uh, okay, it's live on my iPad now, but it doesn't say live on the YouTube. I won't worry about it on StreamYard. But hi, everyone. Glad we could be here.
I know, I think a lot of people do the countdown because of that. There is like a 20-second delay,
I
and
it
it's
it still says just scheduled. It doesn't say live, but it is streaming on my iPad. Therefore, we are live.
isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Yeah, I do also have a screen over here, and I make sure that it goes live
Yeah, good thing.
when we're supposed to, because you never know. Sometimes
No.
it takes
Yeah,
a little bit longer.
I've done a whole hour show, and it wasn't live.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Only once, though. That was all it took.
And now you just make sure that you see it come up live. That's a
I
good
do.
thing.
Yeah, I definitely do that.
Well, welcome, Val, and welcome everybody. I see Bora Bora is here, so nice to see you. Linda Kennedy is here, and Valerie from Illumination Portal is here. Hi, Val. And Amanda Carroll, Laura Hammond, T. Lynn. So nice to see everybody. Thank you all for being here, and
Yeah.
everybody here on Facebook as well. And we're going to have some illuminating conversations today. And we're just going to try and just take the first little chunk. And I'm already blown away by what Val has shared with me backstage. So I can't wait to to hear it all over again. And I just wanted to know from everybody in the chat, does everybody in the chat, do you have some idea of what Ascension is? Have you heard about it? Even if you don't know the details, have you heard about it? Do you know that there's something coming? Do you, is it, you've heard us talk about it, you know about the frequency and the vibration. And I just wanted to know sort of, and some of you may know a lot more than we realize. And you may be watching later as well. So please do let us know if you've heard about it and how familiar you are with the concept. It is there's many moving pieces to it, and this is why I thought we would kind of just break down what ascension means, what that means for us here in this community and for humanity as a whole. And Val, you were telling me that instead of using the word ascension, you like to use a different word.
Yeah, I do, Jean. I like to say we're remembering who we are, because we come into this game and we forget on purpose for the game who we are, and our job is to remember who we are. And actually, it is about just having that time where you are present, fully present in the moment. And you know what? If you try that for 1 minute and then the next minute, it is not too easy to stay fully, completely awake and present, not with your thought drifting off here or drifting off there. Oh, I've got to wash the dishes. Oh, I've got to, inside your mind, you're going 10 different places. But to really be behind your eyes, listening or talking to someone, or paying attention to a book you're reading, or looking out at the blue sky, being present is the quickest way to get where you want to go in remembering. But it is super hard. And I know there's a lot of steps along the way in the ascension process to evolve your consciousness and let go of the ego mind script stuff.
Yeah. So with that, being in the present moment, we are connected to our spiritual essence, our spiritual vibration, our soul's vibration is in the present moment. And then we go into ego. If we go to the memory or if we go to the future, we go back into our ego and our human state, our most pure soul vibration, or that divine spark state is in that present moment. And when you're in that present moment, we are automatically connected to our soul. And yeah.
Absolutely. I love that description. And, we are in a game. It's like the Matrix. This is kind of a holographic universe. And so there are players here just like you, but this is your construct here. You create it. So you're really responsible for everything inside the game. Some people are filler people. They're just people in the background, but you do bring some players in with you when you come in and you sign those contracts and come in to decide to cover X, Y, and Z as an experience. So that's why we always say you are not your story. You are not your story. You are this divine source consciousness streaming down into this body to experience this. And so the game is to remember who you are. And that isn't like some moment, something's going to come along and you're going to have full memory of your soul coming from the big God source and projecting down. No, it's not like that. You're going to have maybe the sense that you were an Isis priestess, or you're going to have this feeling that you were in Lemuria, or you're going to feel like you were a Knights Templar, or you're going to know you were connected to the Celtic family, in Ireland or wherever. Those are things those are your memories, remembering who you are. You already are that God consciousness projecting down into this body. You have everything. Everything's present inside of you. You don't have to go make something happen. You are it. So even when you go get activations from people or you go get, energy work, you're letting it happen. You're just using someone as a catalyst to allow you that you are allowing yourself that time and moment to have that
Expansion, that
have that
awareness.
expansion, have that code turned on.
Wow.
It's like you have all the light codes, you have all the information inside of you, and it's just that what's your catalyst? What are you going to, you could actually, my guides told me you could actually just sit in meditation and activate yourself by
Oh,
saying,
wow.
and in this energy now, especially Jean, don't you think you can really create as a creator being saying, I claim blah, 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 or I
Yes.
I claim my full, complete remembering now.
Yes.
Say however, don't be bold. Go for the big stuff.
Our belief is extremely powerful. Our
Yeah.
intentions are very they change so much. They're impactful. Our intentions have so much energy behind them, and it's our power as as a spirit in this human form. But it's not only just our belief and our intention, it's the frequencies and energies around us that are changing these dimensions, that are allowing this to become more. So when you were 10 or 12 years old and you said you wanted a pink dog for your birthday or whatever, that was in a different density, and
Yeah.
it's different now, and things are changing, we're changing, and Gaia, the earth, is changing, and humanity is evolving. Yeah, I
To the
think that it's
yeah.
really powerful for us to
I
call this on ourselves.
I love that you're saying that, Jean, because that is so true. The reason why now there are millions of people that are suddenly going, I'm going to pick my head up and go, oh, there's something. There's something more. There's something bigger. Something is happening. I feel something shifting. something is changing. Or maybe even the people that were in fear, because there's only fear and love. And
Mm,
fear is an illusion. It's just, there is only love. So
right.
all this is happening right now, everything you see, and you can probably realize it's all to bring everything out into the light, any kind of darkness, which really is a misnomer in itself, but it is a dualistic um, earth
Mhm,
plane for a reason. And yeah, so the higher frequencies coming in now, and all the beings that work with this earth plane, creating huge openings, huge shifts. And there really is essentially, there's no veil anymore. If you do want to see energy, you can. Energy forms of people crossed over or your guides, um, talking to them. That's why when I do my Akashic record classes, Jean, people connect right away. I mean, there is no, I mean, that day they're already reading the record.
'cause they've already done it. They've
They've
already
they've
and
already
they're just moving into that version, that vibration of themselves to continue to do it. It's like, yeah. Mhm. And some people are not going to choose to awaken. Some people are going to choose to, still be in the restaurant, still be, working the essential jobs, still be, accountants and bankers and things like this. There's some people that are going to be witnessing changes, but choose not to change themselves because it's just not. That's not why they're incarnated here. Now, you and I, Val, and everybody here in the chat and watching later, we're here for a different reason. We're here to go through this transition in this incarnation and move through this new density and these new awarenesses. It's almost like they call it enlightenment, but it's like an opening up and seeing something, seeing like having the veil moved away from your eyes and seeing and feeling things. I know a lot of people in the chat have been asking me, Jean, I saw this. What does this mean? This bird did this. This funny thing happened to me. I saw, I heard my name being called. So many people are coming into a higher frequency, a different density that they can connect to the higher realms. And when I say that, it's not really a place, it's a density of frequency. And they're all right here with us. And it's
yeah.
so fascinating what everybody is experiencing and opening up to.
It is, because I mean, just the average person that is getting into these higher frequencies and they're ready to accept them in without even knowing it, because they're a pretty positive person, say, and they just go to work every day doing their thing. They've got a family to support, and they're finding out, they're seeing the synchronicities of life, like a bird doing something weird or weird things happening, and they go, it's like those are their triggers to go, oh, or seeing the 111 or 222 on the clock or whatever. Those are those things that come into their awareness, and I love that that's happening. And I think it just goes to show that everyone has a timing where this is all going to take place. We're not all doing it at the same time. Just like you said, there are people who are just observers and they're here and they're just going to be with the old earth. But I do love what you said about um, the dimensions or densities are all here. We just shift our frequency and access it. It's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. And
Yep.
so you're in fifth dimension. You go up and down all kinds of dimensions in a day, So yeah, I love that.
Yep.
And then you
We
see
do.
all these things. Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
really important to say that we do go through different dimensions in one day. When we're doing spiritual work, we're in a certain dimension, and when we're doing the laundry and making the bed, we're in a different dimension.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
Exactly.
but this is the magic about this generation, this incarnation, that we all get to experience going in and out of these different dimensions and these different frequencies. And I've heard that my spirit guides and other spirit guides have told me that they are asking us to record our experience. It's important for history and prosperity or posterity,
Yeah,
and
prosperity.
that it's important that we record this for history, because
Yeah.
they're all going to want to know, how did they do it, what happened, how were they feeling, what was everybody going through.
I love that you just said that, Jean, because I think that's why so many people are writing books about what's going on. And every time I get somebody and I read for them, I say, "Oh, you're supposed to write a book." That's what they're telling me. It's so many people are being called to because I don't care how many people write, there is always an audience that's going to vibrate to you coming in and sharing your story. It's really important that if you have that to share, please go ahead and write it down and share it, because that's going to help millions of other people who have not yet, gone, through some of this, and they're going to go, "What's happening to me?" Like if you have a time slip and you see yourself in another room and you're doing something, you go, huh? Or like you, Jean, you're in a supermarket parking lot and things just stop.
Yeah,
Okay. Just,
times, yeah. Yeah,
yes.
it
So,
was uncanny, yeah, but I knew, not that I knew, but I suspected right away what it must have been,
yeah.
and I liken this to the way that we have so much, fascination about Egypt and Egypt's history and what was going on at that time and how different things were and how life changed on Earth around that time in history, and how much, a detail was important for us to learn this, and the breaking the codes through the hieroglyphics and stuff. And I feel as though that big of a transition is happening now. Like this, I don't know the 26,000 year cycle. Val from Illumination Portals here, she'll be able to tell us the cycles. But I just feel like it's something as big as the way that, how they had hybrids in Egypt, they had ETs in Egypt, they had all different types of humanity in Egypt, and I just feel like the way that that changed, I feel like this is something similar, that the way we look back on history there, look back on history now for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I would say it's just amazing what they're finding in the Great Pyramids right now. And I have to say, there's so much Egyptian information coming in now and energy. And apparently it's tied to Sirius and what has been in the astrological um, activities now. Sirius. And apparently that's where Osiris came from with the Egyptian things. So um, is it, oh, I'm trying to think of his name. Is it Edward David Grant or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Oh my God, he is phenomenal. I'm mesmerized by his brilliant brain and what he discovered in the Great Pyramids and all of that astrological information and so much detail about what our history is and how things are happening, how things line up. But I mean, it's so much more than we even know. But I just want to say that even in my group recently, my members group, when we meet on Zoom, everyone, I was getting all this stuff and the emerald tablets. It was all about Isis. It's like just tons and tons of Egyptian information. And from what I understand, it relates to Atlantis. We're really clearing a lot of energies and connecting to that Atlantean timing. And you know how that ended. And this is not, this has already gone past. We are not going to be doing that kind of thing. So the great news is, yes, this energy is coming in. We're going to be having a lot of feelings of connection to the Egyptian gods and goddesses, especially the divine goddess, because we have the divine feminine. Yes, Robert Edward Grant. Thank you. That guy, oh my God, I saw him one time and I was like, this
Yep.
guy, I mean, whenever he's on, I've got to watch him because I was just mesmerized.
Yep.
So if you can catch him on anything, do. And he is brilliant, beyond brilliant. But what I really wanted to say is, if you are having any kind of feelings like that coming up about Egypt, it's really about your Atlantean lifetimes that you're kind of going through that. You're embracing it again, embracing maybe your priest or priestess hood of that era. So there's so much more. There's the goddess Hathor, there's the goddess Isis, so many, many, many energies that you are embodying in this lifetime now, and to reclaim it all into and recalibrate it into your now moment is, just like they say, many people say our timelines are collapsing. Why is that so? It's because we're coming to the end of an era and we're going into a new era, just like the Mayan calendar talked about. Well, our new era is the Aquarian age. It's not that we end, but we end that cycle. We're graduating from that Earth school and we have another one.
Wow.
And yeah,
So
this,
I've had a lot of people tell me that they've had past lives in Egypt and Lemuria, and that I've had other groups that I was with even early in my education that were connected to Lemuria and Egypt. And from what I understand, and I'm getting the chills, so they're telling me yes, that our souls were the souls that were there. Our souls are now
oh,
here. We all volunteered to incarnate now to assist in this transition because we were there when Lemuria, Atlantis, and Egypt, and I just say Egypt, all that time. But our souls remember that our souls
that
were
trauma,
there.
yeah, Jean, all that, I love that. All that trauma, all of that stuff we went through, we volunteered to come back now. And this is why it's coming up. It's really, we're going to bring it all into this now moment to really remember it all and embrace it as a great experience that we had. And now we're moving on with that wisdom, with that knowledge, even though we aren't that story, but it was very traumatic.
Yep. So I just want to answer one quick question here, and then we'll continue. Chris Cassidy says, I'm trying to see energy, but nothing yet. What's the secret, Val? And I think that a lot of the community here are working on developing their skills. I get a lot of people asking me this every day. And the one thing I can tell you is change the word trying to the word allowing,
Mhm.
and try and then allow and relax, because it's our natural ability. It's not anything that we're trying to learn to do. What we're trying to learn to do is to let go of the monkey mind, let go of the programming or conditioning, and to sit inside of our spirit. When somebody tells you to pick up a umbrella on the way out the door and it's not raining out, that's your spirit. You always talk to your spirit guides. It's a natural thing that we've done our entire lives. It was
Mhm.
just called something different. It was us talking to ourselves. But when we get these inspirations and we get these feelings, and it may sound like our own voice, it may sound like our mother's voice, it may sound like, just that we had an inspiration or a thought. This
Yeah.
is the way that the higher realms communicate with us. We're not here alone. We've always had this spirit inside of us.
Mhm.
When we were little, they were guiding us. So
Yeah.
this guidance is not anything new. It's just you paying attention to it and strengthening it and using it. I used to happen to me, and now it happens.
Mhm.
I call it on demand. You know,
Yeah.
like I call it in rather than waiting for, me to slam on my brakes when it was a
Yeah.
green light. But, different instances when they would just stop, jump in
Mhm.
and assist us. But this has always been with all of us. And you just, if we can relax and allow, this is our natural state of being. Everybody here who is listening to this and watching later, we're all spiritual beings. We all have access. And that's the secret, I think, Val.
It
Not
is
to
a
not to
secret.
give it all away.
You gave it all away because that is really the truth. I love everything you said. I don't even have any more to say about it. 'Cause it's
You're making
really
me.
that's it. I mean, I love it. And you can already do all this. There isn't anything to it. You just everything that Jean just said, boom,
Thank you,
chocolate.
Chris Cassidy, for asking that. Yeah, and it's not easy to be discerning, to learn what it when it's the spirit guides guiding you.
Yeah.
It takes focus, it takes practice, and it takes validation, and it takes confidence. So it isn't, as easy as that, but it's as simple as that is what we're saying.
Yeah.
And through practice, and everybody here knows what it means to raise your state of consciousness, because every time you come onto a show where psychic mediums and card readers are doing readings, we have to go into that altered state of consciousness, and you guys all hold that space with us, for us.
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and when you feel that higher vibration, we know that you're all feeling it, because we feel it too. And it's
Yeah.
that it's just one, it's almost like a meditative state, or a more focused type of state. And they say when we're driving, we get into that altered state of consciousness. You know
Mhm.
how you can like work something out in your head, and you get home, you're like, did I stop at that stop sign? Because you're doing
Yes, oh man. Many
very
times
similar.
I started from work to home and I don't even know how I got there. Oh my
Or
God.
yeah, you don't remember if you
Because
did.
I was in some zone doing
Mhm,
something.
mhm.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
and the other thing that is that makes it um, challenging, I guess I would say, is because it's important for us to do all of this while in this human container, in
Yeah.
this egoic state, and to balance the two. That's where, I mean, my spirit guides told me, Jean, you're going to have to read the chat, choose the questions, and go into your altered state. And I practiced here, and I did this. I had the connection here on my left brain to connect to my imagination and my spirit guides, but they wanted me to jump back and forth. And I'm telling you, I had headaches like you wouldn't believe from
Yeah.
jumping back and
So did
forth.
I. I
But they
mean,
said I had to do it. It was something that I needed to learn to do. And this is just growth, practice, and,
mhm.
refining, I guess.
It really
But
is. It really
yeah,
is.
it's really, I love the connection with Atlantis and Lemuria
Yeah.
and our past lives. If anybody has ever had a past life reading, a past life regression, anywhere where you yourself can remember being, and it's not like you're another person, because you're
Mhm.
you. And one of my first experiences, I was a Roman soldier, and I had a helmet on with the mohawk kind of helmet,
Yeah.
and it had a metal piece coming down the nose, and then the helmet was here, and I was a strong man, and I was standing there with my arms folded, but it
Yeah.
was Gene inside his head talking
Yeah.
to me.
It was still your consciousness.
It,
It's still
I
you in that
I was
life.
expecting it to be another life, another
You are
man.
you, no
I
matter what
It
lifetime. Yeah, yeah. Your consciousness is still you.
took me, I was stunned for
Yeah.
days, walking around in a daze saying, could that have been me? It was me.
It was you.
It was me inside of
It was
that man, inside of that soldier who lost his
yes,
wife in a fire. You know,
yes.
it was me who was sad and who was thinking about his wife while on guard. And one thing that he told me, one word that he told me before I left him was to trust. He wants me to trust and to be strong.
Yeah.
And that was so profound. It changed me forever. And I always, and what it did was
Well,
it
it
made
was
me
you
watch
telling you that would change anyone. I mean, that's like going into your own Akashic field and getting the answer. Boom.
that
Instant
reality.
healing.
Yeah,
Instant everything. I
it
mean, that
was. There was some disbelief that I needed to suspend. It's important to suspend your
yeah,
disbelief and
yeah,
allow for your experiences to be a tool an aid to help educate you and enlighten you and open up your awareness. But I do recommend, if anybody has that opportunity to do that, it does shift you. Also, taking classes from Val and I don't know if there's anybody offering Reiki class. I think Kevin Loving Vibrations is doing some Reiki classes coming up. I would, I think I'm going to take a refresher from him. These
mhm,
Reiki classes are very, very accelerating in your awareness, in
oh,
your
yeah,
ability to
yeah,
sense energy, and your ability to connect with your spirit guides and bring this energy through you. It really is, it propels and accelerates
yeah.
your practice.
It does because I'm a Reiki master as well, and when I went through that, and then they give you the attunement and all of that stuff, it really does. It's a real thing, folks. It's amazing what happens. I could everyone channels in energy. There's no doubt about that. But somehow when you have that attunement, I mean, throughout all that you're experiencing during, learning how to draw the symbols and all of that stuff, you're really things are happening. Is energy and guides related to all of this work, and they're all coming in, and your energy is just being shifted like crazy. And yeah, it's a real thing. Mm,
Yep. And you planned it that way, you
yeah,
planned it. Whatever decision you make, it was a pre-life plan for us to, have these destinations, but how we get there is our own
mhm,
choice. But
yeah,
I think it's really very telling, and I think everybody here who's listening and who is in this community and watches a lot of our shows is already on board and on their way. And
yeah.
and there's hundreds of thousands of more of us all around. You see all the near-death experiencer shows, the channeling shows, all of those. There's so many of us out there.
Did you notice though how many there are? And you know what they say, Gene. Some of these people that are really at the top of this whole field are saying, "Eh, this is going to be so needed. More and more and more people need to get out there and help because people are going to need all of you." So there's never going to be enough. It's always good to have more and more people
Yeah,
that can help.
and they call us the way showers because
Yes,
we show
awesome.
others the way. And, honestly, I really just wanted to practice and help people. I never thought I would be on YouTube and to be teaching or sharing, but
Yeah,
there's something that compels me to share this information. And I'm so very passionate about the chakra system and the auric fields and the our energy source, our energy system, our awareness, it's like it, not that it haunts me, but it's constantly, and people say, Gene, that's so 1980s. And I'm like, no, it's different now. We need to focus because this energy system here
mm,
is the energy system that's going to be changing with us. Our
Yeah.
auric field is going to be I guess assisting us and becoming on board and not so you know uh, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like
Well,
not.
this is my guides have told me this interesting view of it, and that is that, and believe me, I'm not there yet. I'm still working on each chakra, getting them all organized, and all the higher chakras that we don't even talk about, the soul star, the blah blah blah, all of them up there. So this this is going to shift into a unified field, because we aren't going to need these little lesson pockets of energy. It's going to be one, you're going to just stand in your unified field of energy. The chakra system itself was so that you could learn security at your root, and you could understand that, and you felt it there. You felt that fear of, am I going to survive? Or you felt the fear in the pit of your stomach that you didn't have enough confidence to do something, so your solar plexus, or in your heart, you feel the heartache, whatever it is, what those feel like, or you can't talk. You can't speak your truth. You feel it in your throat constricts. These are real things. You can feel them in your chakras, but this is actually evolving. And so probably getting no, most likely this is how it's going to work, that I'm doing so much clearing work that I haven't done for years, Jean, on my chakras. I haven't done it for years. And all of a sudden I'm being guided to do all this. Well, of course it can't go to a unified field unless we have really purified or cleared up all the stuff, any fear, any lack, any doubt, and then then you can
Yep.
go to that unified field.
Yep, we're being prepared for
You're
sure. So T.
prepared.
Lynn says that she felt the connections to past time periods and only recently realized that they were possibly past lives. I mean, I have French provincial furniture in my house. I mean, my house is very nature oriented, not French provincial. I'm like, why in the world did I buy a French provincial dining room set? It's because I was in France in a past life.
Of
I
course
mean,
you
these
were.
and these things are just repeated, and we remember them, and we have these desires, these likes and dislikes, this fascination. I am just I'm enthralled with the Native Americans. I
Yeah.
am just I cannot get enough of it. I cannot learn enough
Mhm.
about it, and the hurt and the sorrow that I feel for what the white man did to the
Yeah.
Native Americans and their
Yeah.
land. The unjust. I feel that so
Yeah.
strongly. I must
And
have been Native American at
I'm
one
sure
time
you
as well. I
absolutely, absolutely. You suffered those same feelings during the time that you had those indigenous lifetimes. Absolutely, 100%. I have that feeling about being Black, because I have so much I feel myself in the lifetimes where I was, and I feel the suffering. Believe it or not, oh my God. I just oh, it was what oh, those lifetimes. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so you
Wow.
really do know the lifetimes you've had by how it affects you now as you look at people who fit that same profile of, yeah, you have an emotional reaction. It's like me and Knights Templar. I saw, just like you, I was a Knights Templar. You saw yourself as a like Roman soldier or whatever, and I saw myself as a Knights Templar on a horse. And I had such honor and love and faith and truth in my heart. And I was like, I was enraged at the betrayal of the church and all this stuff about the Knights Templar and how they were persecuted uh, by the Pope.
Oh my
So
gosh.
so, you know, all
Yep.
I can say is, you know, by that, it's like I have an insane love of the founding fathers. I have so many things about the founding fathers
Oh, wow.
and the time in which the Declaration of Independence was constructed. I know I was alive then.
Wow.
Not that I had anything to do with any of it. I was an admirer, apparently.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I've had some people that we worked, and I just wanted to, before I talk about Priscilla and her spiritual journey, I'm going to write this here so I don't forget. And why we're talking about this, they're like, Gene, why, I thought we are talking about ascension. Now you're talking about, past lives. What
But
this
you know, it is ascension in a way, don't you think?
It's us being our spirit, our soul's essence, our divine spark,
Yeah,
that we realize that we're more than just this incarnation, this human container. We This vitality, this love, this all of these things that we're feeling and sensing, that it is our divine, our soul's vibration, and this soul is everlasting, and reincarnation has a lot to do with this ascension process, and the change of humanity is
mhm.
evolving. We're going through a human evolution in our crystalline makeup. Now I just threw that in there. What is that? Maybe Val can help me to figure out how we can explain that. But it's a shift in a frequency and an energetic vibration, which
Mhm.
is our chakras, our energy and vibration. Our auric field is energy and vibration. The earth is energy and vibration. So many things around us. Our thoughts are energy and vibration. That's why we can connect to our loved ones on the other side. It is all, our intention is energy and vibration. That's why this is all so very important for us to pay attention to. And when we evolve into that higher crystalline type of physicality in a new dimension, in a new frequency and vibration, it'll happen over generations, but it's starting now. So the sooner you can become familiar with your chakras, and even your clairs can help you
Yep,
to get to know yourself. It's
yep,
more self-awareness, and I think
yeah.
self-love has a lot to do with that. So I threw in
Self-love, yep.
crystalline and self-love at you there, Val.
Self-love, absolutely 100%. That is like 99.5% of the way there, because when you are able to love yourself, so that's forgiving yourself and others is in a 3D concept, because that's what we have to do here, even though it's not necessary on the other side because you see clearly. You really are able, you open the door to your heart by forgiving yourself for even suggesting you come down and do all of this, basically, is what it is. And you forgive those who played their story so well that they made you feel bad. So, this is what that's all about. Once you open that door to your heart, it's the gateway to everything. So, okay, that's the gateway to everything. So,
I love it.
forgiveness is resolving things, Sally. Forgiveness resolves so much. It really opens the door to your heart, the Holy Grail, the doorway, gateway to
I love that,
everything.
Val.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. And it releases us from
obviously.
those burdens and those grudges and those dense, heavy energies that we've been holding on to, holding somebody else accountable. And I've had loved ones tell me from the other side, release those burdens, forgive those around you, forgive what you thought you may have said, not said to me, didn't get there to say goodbye. It's not let go of these burdens, lighten up, that there's so much more here for us to move forward. But it's that burden of guilt and grudges of not forgiving that is holding a lot of humanity back. And this is why they say, let go of what is no longer yours, let go of things that you do not need anymore, and to move past. And there's just light on the other side.
Those are just the stuck places that we're at are those kind of things. And so when you're on the other side, you go, oh, why couldn't I move through that? It's just a story. It was no big deal. I mean, if somebody died, you're going to see them on the other side. They're just out of this Matrix story. So, don't worry about it. We take things so seriously and literally here when it is literally just a story we're experiencing. And if you don't play the game from the game standpoint, and you get a little bit of a higher view of it, and you start working the game, and you start seeing yourself outside of the game, then you stop being manipulated by what you've presented for yourself. Then that kind of shifts too, and you stop giving yourself those experiences because you don't need them anymore.
Take your power back.
Take your power back. You can work the game. The game doesn't have to work you.
Be the director, be the creator, be the decision maker. Yeah, be the driver. So many of us, hold on to that steering wheel. That's beautiful, Val. I love that. The self-love and the forgiveness is the gateway. Your heart is the gateway. And I just want to help everybody to understand I want to make sure that we're talking about ascension and our soul and the evolution. It's all part of it. And what does this mean for us this week? Maybe we'll start working on developing our energy system and paying attention to that. But it's a slow evolution, but it's here now. And the more that we can get rid of things now and move forward, we will be more in a better place to be the way shower when and if we're being called upon. So T. Lynn says that, does that make us an unexplained emotional mess or so much more empathetic? And I think that it does require sensitivity. It does require us to open up and to remove some of our what are they called? Not barriers, are those things that you put up.
Sentimentality is kind of a lower aspect of feeling love. So you want to get rid of the sentimentality of something, because that will actually make you feel sorry for someone or make you feel, no, we're all very powerful beings in our own right, and we create what we create.
Our
but
boundaries.
basically what you are doing, for instance, I'm going to give you some homework. If you are feeling like there are things that you're frustrated about, or things that you are agitated about, or maybe there's some people in your life that you're still irritated at, do that forgiveness exercise, but include your chakra. Go to your heart chakra. Envision white light or even pink light flowing in as you breathe. Open up your heart chakra while, I'll send a grounding cord down to Mother Earth at the same time and open up to divine source within. But what you're going to do is do the forgiveness and do it inside of your heart. Imagine your heart as big as the room and that beautiful pink energy coming in. Involve your chakra in those, any kind of work you're doing. If you're feeling fearful or feeling like you're not confident, do the yellow solar plexus light and work on that chakra. These things may sound like 1980, 1970. No, you better trot them back out, because they're really something that will clear up. And one day you can release yourself from a lot of stuff. It's like a miracle. So if you just do some of these things in 5 minutes or less, 2 minutes for that one chakra, and then move to another if you want, or one a day. Work on it, and that's homework, because you know what? then you can really, what's going to happen? It's going to free you up to higher frequencies. Your chakras create, their energy wheels that have light codes of information, and they are going to spread that to all of your DNA, to all of your codons, to everything that is going to get triggered. Oh, she's ready. Oh, we're going to turn this on, this on, this on, and this on, and this on. You don't realize you are triggering a lot of growth inside of yourself if you do these things. So
I just wanted to go back to that word that I forgot, and it was boundaries. And this emotional mess, sometimes be careful that your emotional mess isn't in that ego that is saying, poor me, I'm the victim, or look what I have to go through, or look what happened to me. And that we move into our spiritual balance, that empathic. It's important for us to be sensitive and empathic to move into this next dimension, so to speak, or this next evolution. And that's why we're so empathic, but we don't need to be emotional and hurt. That's ego telling you that.
that's
It's a balance.
mentality. Yeah.
It's balancing. Mm-hmm.
I love that, Jean, because I think it's really important to realize and keep your head in the game. It's a game. Keep your head in the game. If you get emotionally charged over something, you've just gotten triggered. You're not in observation. You've just been pulled back into the game. The game is you controlling everything. If you want to get higher, if you want to have the higher consciousness and the energies and frequencies coming in, be in your heart energy, be in that loving, joyful energy, but realize that you are the creator of everything. You are the creator. So if something is mirroring back to you and somebody at the grocery store yelled at you because you pushed your cart too close to them or went over there, go, oh, there must be something inside of me that, feels irritated, or there's something that is an unlovable crumb that I'm going to have to work on. I'll go home and work on that. So do not react. Just smile, say sorry. Go home and take care of yourself.
Yep. This is that discernment that is required or is recommended and is coming. It's very important component of this ascension and evolution. The self-awareness and the emotional charge that Val was talking about. It's important for us to be aware and look at these emotional things, the triggers and things in a new perspective from, and it's easier said than done, but the more you say, well, wait, I'm a soul here in this human experience. What could that have meant? Be curious. Say, what could that have meant to me? Why would I have felt that way? And be curious and try and figure out the lesson and what it might mean, rather than being in the fight and saying, "Oh, she said that about me." I mean,
You're in the story at that point. Yeah, Jean, exactly. Instead, take it away and look at it and inspect it and say, what was this about? That's much better work. That's much more productive. And I just wanted to say, T. Lynn, she says, mine is just extremely sensitive, happy or sad. One day felt overwhelming love for no apparent reason and started crying. Those are Ascension symptoms, because you are opening up your heart. Periodically, it opens more and opens more, and you're releasing things. You're having crying jags. You get emotionally feelings of bliss, maybe 1 minute, and you feel just like getting a box of Kleenex and crying your eyes out. This is you coalescing a lot of your lifetimes together into this one moment, and even things in this space. You can't put your finger on what it is, but that's what that is. I mean, you don't know what the actual root cause, don't have to know in this energy. You just have to let it flow. Don't stop it. Cry and feel how you feel, and that's what happens. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an ugly cry. Been there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I
well,
was getting up. I am a happy person. I was getting up and I would start to meditate. And the first thing I do is I have to get the Kleenex out and just cry an ugly cry. And it wasn't me. It was just that I was crying like a baby. And I wasn't sad. It's just let it come up. That's
Mhm.
just to be
Sometimes
honest.
we're
Yeah.
transmuting the energies of the collective around us
Yeah. Exactly.
and the energies of the past and the
Yeah.
energies of, uh, the
Sure.
misfortunate. And sometimes we're called upon to transmute these energies, and those are, it's about self-awareness. Is this mine? Is
Yeah.
this me who's feeling this way, or is it somebody else that I'm carrying their weight? Especially
Mm,
if you have a son or a daughter going through a divorce or something, or a loss or something, and
yeah.
you are just, consumed by it because you are a mother, you care, but it's their burden, not yours. You're here as a supportive role. And it's so hard to discern because you feel and you carry that because we're empathic, but it's
Yeah.
it's really that discernment that helps us to be in that parent role, that
Mm,
I can help you. I'm
mm,
not going to fall apart around you because I'm here to help you. I
mm.
am, this is my role. And there's discernment, and we don't, I know that might sound a little, callous, but it's obviously there's tragedy and situations that are require tender love and care, but it's important to have that little bit of discernment and try not to carry other people's burdens because we
Yeah.
are empathic, and realize that we're here to support them in with carrying their burden in their journey.
Right, and
That
I
makes
realized that part of that was definitely for the collective that or for my soul group, however you phrase that. I knew it wasn't mine, by the way it was happening, but, also, uh, I I I really think it's important to, uh, realize that whatever you're feeling, whether it's you or you're feeling it for the collective, feel it. Let it let it don't stop it. Cry when you need to cry. Don't hold it in because it's there to be let out. Get it out and, yeah. So, yeah, it's gonna get you're just freeing up energy that's gonna be filled with a bunch of higher frequencies. Um, yeah, I love that.
So I think we should have a little test after this discussion. Does anybody know anything more about Ascension than they did before they came in here? It's a
It's
huge
a big
concept, and
subject.
there's no concrete like facts that you can look up. And I mean, there's a lot of people talking about it, and there's a lot of, information out there, but
Yeah.
it is really hard to tie down what is happening for me. Like, what is for all each of you to say, what does that mean for me? What does Ascension mean for me? Where am I in this Ascension? Where am I in my discernment? Where am I? And this is everybody's opening up to their spiritual
Mhm.
awareness, their self awareness. And this awareness of who we truly are is a very big part of it for me, and really does help me to keep things in perspective, and for me to develop my discernment. And you all help me with my discernment and my self awareness. We are all
Mhm.
mirrors for each other.
Yeah, we are.
Val is a mirror for me. My husband is a mirror for me. We are
Mhm.
all mirrors for each other. I'll never forget. There was a beautiful woman in chat, and she said, "Jean, I was in the house on the couch, and there was this squirrel or chipmunk that was climbing up this sliding glass door." Um, screen door, the sliding glass screen door. And she says, Jean, the chipmunk looked right at me. I could see him. His eyes were looking right at me. I could see his soul. And I said, yeah. I said, he was a mirror to you. I said, that's great. So later on in the chat, like 20 minutes later, she goes, what does that mean? What do you mean he was a mirror? I said, it was your soul who recognized the soul of the chipmunk, and he mirrored your soul. And this was that aha moment of, oh, I just saw their soul, but it was your
It was a
soul.
soul to soul contact.
It was so profound. It taught me
In other
so much.
words, we are one. We are all one in the body of God. When you see soul, when you see someone's soul, you are absolutely touching that infinite void of quantum field, God source energy. That's what that is, because that's what you are. And that's what everyone else is.
Yeah.
It's a profound thing.
Yeah, they're not easy concepts to swallow in 1 hour, but I'm so happy, Val, that you're here helping me talk about it, helping me break it down, trying to give scenarios and examples and situations to try and help explain it. And I know that a lot of you out there are highly intelligent, and you guys are right there, if not ahead of me. And I'm humbled by your support here. So I just want to thank Val and thank each and every one of you. And I think that this is a really important discussion, and we're going to try and break it down and talk a little bit more about each and every one. If you have something specific or a question that is just, what is discernment? Talk a little bit more about discernment. How can we break that down? What does that look like? Whatever it is that you think that would be helpful for everybody to break down and to learn a little bit more about, just let us know in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate that. And Val, thank you for your time. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you. I can tell half of that was channeled. You were like, bam, bam.
Sorry. It comes out.
And we can feel it. We can feel the joy in our hearts. How many people here can feel the joy in our hearts when we're talking about this? I mean, I'm quite enthusiastic, but it's joy. It's joy, the realization that we're here now. It's amazing. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Val. And did you want to let them know about how to contact you for your classes? Val is.
You can also go to dragonflycrystal.store, and I have all my classes for September open, and you can still join. I think September 21st is the next Akashic Record class, for instance, but there are also psychic medium. Well, no, there is a channeling class and a meditation class, I believe. So check that out.
And coming together in a group of people and focusing on spiritual topics and things, learning classes is really expanding as well. And if you want to accelerate your awareness and your connection, that's a perfect way to do it. But thank you very much, Val. I think that I'll be on with the Magic Monday tomorrow with Terry Suzuki, and Wisdom Seeker Joan will be on tomorrow night at 4:30 Eastern. I think it's 1:30 Pacific. But we thank each and every one of you for being here. And again, Val,
thank you.
You make it very magical. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you enjoy this content, hit like, share, and subscribe. Remember to click the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks again. Bye.